What if the biggest thing that's blocking your dreams, your abundance, is not the outer circumstances, but your own thinking of a sense of lack? If you don't know me, my name's Deborah. I'm a transformational healer and intuitive coach. And I want to talk about the sense of lack that all of us humans have on a regular basis. And we don't even question it. It feels like it's already embodied in our nervous system of thinking that there's not enough love, there's not enough health, there's not enough money. Everything is about a not enough, not enough. And I have noticed in my own life and my journey over the years that that comes up, and it has come up in my relationships, in my wealth, and in my health. And I'd like to share with you that this sense of lack is what you can actually release and replace with wholeness and completeness, a sense of well being. Because guess what? That's who we really are. As the universal consciousness, our true beingness is without lack. It is completely full. It is completely it's perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect love. And the more we tune into that beingness that we are, it's much easier to release the limiting beliefs that there's never enough. If you've noticed, if you watch the news, that's all it is, all about limiting beliefs, limitation, tragedy, but there's always something that's missing. If you tune into the people that are the preppers, right? They're always thinking, "Oh my God, the world is going to get to a point where we have to prep and we will not have enough." So people obsess over this, and it is a human condition that we can let go of. So in my life, I have to say that I chose a relationship where I was in the sense of lack. It was never enough. There wasn't enough love. What it was is that I was choosing somebody who wasn't full and complete and whole and complete, and neither was I. So I was already coming from that sense of lack. And when people are coming to me for coaching and healing, if they find themselves in a relationship where maybe they're not being chosen, or they are feeling that there's not enough love between the two partners, there's lack of respect, lack of valuing you, it's because you're coming from that sense of lack. It starts with you. It starts with taking a look at you and being accountable and taking responsibility for what's showing up out there. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Are you feeling a sense of lack? Are you feeling like you're not worthy? You're not good enough? That's also a sense of lack. So you're going to choose or attract somebody that's going to reflect that back to you. So that's something I went through and have released and have healed from. Another thing that I did go through, which if you are dealing with one sense of lack in one area, it's across the board in every area of your life. I went through a really rough period where I had cancer, and that is also a lack of health. So, where was that coming from? It stemmed from those thoughts of my sense of lack, of not feeling worthy, not feeling good enough, from not only the relationship that I had chosen to be in, but also from experiences in my uh, previous life, as far as my childhood into adulthood. It had accumulated and was as had created cancer. So the root of healing is to release the sense of lack. Of course, I'm not a medical doctor, so you can still go to the doctor if you do have an issue, a problem, a dis-ease in the body, like I did. But I always encourage people, do the emotional clearing. Release the sense of lack. Release the limiting beliefs that you are telling yourself. In health, what happens is we also, even if we do heal, we go into fear. And I had those thoughts come up too. Oh my God, what if it comes back? it's also coming from the sense of lack. So releasing that is extremely important. And wealth. What about wealth? That's a huge topic. So people always say there's not enough money. There's not enough. And it's interesting because I was talking to a nurse recently who was saying, I know people who are focused on the world and saying the economy's bad, and so they're never having enough money. And then there's another group of people that she knows that are flourishing because they don't have that consciousness. They don't have that projection that there's not enough. The scarcity mindset is really prevalent in when it comes to money. And sometimes we have had these limiting concepts that have been embedded in childhood from parents who had that scarcity mindset. And so to walk into adulthood and try to change those thoughts is sometimes not very easy. But in the process that I share with my clients and in groups, is I help you to set an intention and to release what's in the way to accomplish and manifest that intention. Rewrite the story, write the story of what you want, and write specifics of everything that you desire, and then to receive. So in a way, we're playing with the mind because our consciousness, our beingness already has it. If you really can experience your beingness, you will feel the oneness with everyone and everything. Everywhere you go will feel like it's yours because it is. And everyone is you pushed out. So everyone is a version of you. And when you can experience, not just intellectualize it, but experience the beingness that you are, you will not feel that sense of lack. But if you still feel that sense of lack, or let's say you have moments where you don't feel the sense of lack in every area, but sometimes those thoughts come up, then doing the setting the intention, release, rewrite, and receive would be very helpful. Because when you set an intention, I allow myself to have financial freedom, as an example, or I allow myself to have the perfect partner. The mind is going to come up with all the reasons why it doesn't believe that you can have it. Well, I had a painful experience in the past in a relationship. I'm afraid it's going to happen again. It's probably going to happen again. Or I've struggled for many years trying to make ends meet and I can't seem to get ahead. All of these thoughts are going to come up and resist you. Resist what you want. Because in the beingness, the soul is saying, yes, I allow it to be so. I am calling it in because I already have it. But the mind is going to kick in and say, oh, it's too late, it's too early, you're too fat, you're too skinny, and all these limitations. It's trying to protect you, but in this case, you don't need it to protect you because that's how manifesting works. Now, manifesting sounds like work. It's not. You're just opening up. You're saying, I allow myself to have the perfect partner. So when you say I allow, you're coming from your soul, not the little body mind that feels like it doesn't have it. So whenever you have a desire, it's because you feel separate from it and you think that you can't have it. So it's this little trick that we're playing with our mind to set the intention and then become aware of those limiting beliefs that are in the way, because that's the only thing that's in the way are your thoughts. It sounds really simple and almost hard to believe, but that's really what it is. It's just your thoughts. How do you do this? So you set the intention and you release any and all thoughts. You become aware. Now, if I'm in a group, I'm sharing with people to write that intention and to share what might be coming up. Or in a one-on-one, not only do we identify those limiting beliefs on paper, but I also do it through energy healing. And I help you to really release those scarcity thoughts and to replace them with wholeness, wellness, completeness. And Meanwhile, you become aware of these thoughts. If they come back, sometimes they do, now 50% of it's gone because you are aware and you don't let them take over like you did before, because before you never even challenged them. You just believed them. Now you're taking a step back and being in the beingness that you are, consciousness, and you're saying, I don't want to believe that right now because that's not going to take me where I want to go. So then the fun part begins. You start to rewrite the script. And what is that? You start to write what you want. If you're saying, I allow myself to have the perfect partner, and you've released all of your fears, because basically doubts are fears. Your fears are doubts. You've released, and you know what? There will be more, I'm sure, because it's all very subconscious. Some of it's conscious, but some of it is subconscious. So these thoughts will come up and you'll go, oh my God, this is what's been running the show. And designing the experiencing of my life. Wow. Okay. I had a running thought of men don't choose me. So that's what I would experience, right? Maybe someone would for a while and then they wouldn't. Or, it was my thoughts that was creating that because of my limiting beliefs that I made about myself when I was younger. Those have been released. So now what shows up is completely different. And that's how powerful we are, guys. And I didn't realize that that was running the show until I identified it. So this is where it's super fun. So then you start to write what you want. And sometimes, especially women who have been mothers, have a hard time with this because you've been giving so much to your kids, to your spouse, and everybody else that you don't even know anymore what you want. But I can coach you into figuring that out. So you start to write qualities that you want in someone, qualities that, or if you're with someone, to, that this is how I want them to be and how I want to be. And it sounds kind of far, it sounds radical. Like, a lot of people, when I'm coaching them, will say, well, I can change, I can release, I can do all this, but that person is the same. They're never going to change. And that's what you need to release, is that limiting belief that they will not change. Because when you change, you affect everyone around you. And a lot of people look at me like I have three heads and they don't believe me. And that's where they might drop off. But that is the magic. You're not out there trying to change anybody else. You're changing yourself. So you release what's in the way, rewrite the script, write what you want, and then you start to receive the benefits. And that's the magic. And this goes for everything. You can do it for your health, for your wealth, for your love life. And what's so cool is my community, by the way. You are welcome to join my community. Everything will be in the description of this video. That my private Facebook group, and I have Zoom events where I support you on doing this release and rewrite and receive, and to design a new timeline for yourself, a new version of you. It's really great, and you can meet a lot of friends. So I hope you join. But I also want to share with you that Lester Levinson is my teacher's teacher. My teacher is Laura Lucille. She was a longtime student of Lester Levinson. And I mentioned this in some other videos. He discovered releasing on his own without a teacher, without a guru. There's a book called Happiness is Free by Hale Dwoskin. I hope I'm saying his last name right. The head of the Sedona method, which Lester Levinson created. And this book, Happiness is Free, is all about Lester's life and how he used releasing to go from dying, for all the doctors saying that, you just go home and die because he was so ill, to 3 months of releasing and him being completely healthy and well and living a long life. And it's interesting to read because he talks about going through unhealed experiences in life. And experiencing those emotions and releasing those emotions that were locked in the body. And that's what I do as an energy healer when I'm working one-on-one or in groups, is I help you to release those energies that are in your body from those thoughts of heartbreak, uh, sense of lack, of not having enough money, whatever those limiting beliefs or the negative emotions, whatever it is, to release those and to start regulating your nervous system. It's incredibly powerful. I've been doing this for years, and I have worked with the best people who have trained me, and I love sharing this with people to see their life change. Go get that book. Happiness is Free. It's amazing by Lester, about Lester Levinson's life. He experiments with releasing, where he actually talk about releasing sense of lack. He will go, I'm going to go have lunch today and I have no money in my pocket, and I'm going to manifest this, and someone will buy him lunch. It's incredible. Read the book. I highly recommend it. And I want to end this by encouraging you to set an intention of whatever you want. If it's wanting more money, financial freedom. And also, this is not woo-woo. I want to share with you that when you tune into the beingness that you are, and you know that you are beingness, you experience it, then when you set that intention, you may still have limiting beliefs, but you are opening your field up for more abundance. You're turning on the faucet of the universe. But when you see those limiting beliefs, take one at a time. If you're new to this, take one at a time. And if you identify whatever that belief is, like there's not enough money, then turn it around and do the opposite. And imagine that you have enough money. Imagine, play a game. When you look at your bank account, print out a statement, put zeros next to the balance. I know Rhonda Byrne from The Secret talks all about that. She's all about manifesting money. And that's also another person I highly recommend to listen to on YouTube. And she also has a book called Countdown to Riches, 21 Days. Highly recommend that too. As your homework, just write a limiting belief and do the opposite one day at a time and see how that works for you. So take advantage of my community, and I hope you like and subscribe to this video.